It's right before lunch, and I want to give you all a quick update on what's going on with the 700R4, the 1987 up uh, auxiliary valve body transmission that I'm rebuilding for my Le Mans sitting back here in the background. And let me tell you this, most of the time when I'm working on a project, I will get a what we call a core. You all know it's cores, or I'll have a core, and I will rebuild that myself, whether it be a carburetor, a starter, a engine, or a transmission, even as far as rear ends. And the reason why I do that is because it keeps me up on just being hands on, and also I don't have to trust the word of somebody else. Now, yes, that doesn't mean that I'm not talking about if you go and buy a transmission from Monster Transmissions or a parts place or outlet like that that is selling the transmission or the engine as a part that has already been reconditioned or refurbished, and like that. I'm talking about going to a wrecking yard and buying a part and not expecting the part and just putting a part in your car. If you go to a wrecking yard and you buy a part and they're telling you that the part is supposed to be good, then you're taking their word that it has to be, that it is so, and that most of the time they are reputable, and they'll give you either a 30 or 60 day or maybe a 90 day deal on it. But you have to remember that in those instances, you have to go it on and put the part in and get it going. So if it's a long-term project, something that you're not going to be finished with within that recommended amount of time, then I recommend that you either buy one that has already been redone, have somebody redo it, or if you're like myself, you like the ideal of being hands-on, then that's what I do. So here we go here. This is the 700 off for 87 up with the auxiliary valve body. As you can see, the case, I've got the case completely tore down to the low reverse piston there. I'll be taking that out next and replacing the square seals on it. But this is what I want to show you. Now, looking at this, you would think, hey, maybe these are the steels, but they're not the steels. These are the steels here that goes on the low or reverse, that goes on the reverse clutch. These here are the clutches. And you can see this one here got so hot that it burnt up. No material left. Now, when I took this transmission apart, this is right here. Is the clutch material that came off of these clutches here. Look how hot that had to get in order for it to melt that material like that. That's very hot. So that's a part of clutch material. All this here is clutch material that was in the back part of this transmission here. Among these, this is the rear uh, planetary on the transmission. This goes in the very back with a center. It goes behind the center support. That's what that is. This is the sun shell. That is the planetary, that a full pinion. We talked about that earlier. But this is just a good example, or if you get one from a junkyard, it's what you have to worry about. If you don't go in there, if you're going to go in there and you're going to buy a core, don't pay a lot for the core. Get as cheap as you possibly can. This is another clutch. This is another clutch. This is another clutch. So you got about five. You would have what? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you would have five friction discs for the reverse. You can see this is burnt up. Now the transmission, as I earlier stated, was a transmission that I traded a 400 for about 4 or 5 years ago, and I put it in my truck, and it, like I told y'all, it didn't back up. Well, instead of rebuilding it, I had another one that I know needed everything in it. I just left this one intact, and I went on to rebuild the one I had that's an 82 to a 85, which does not have what they call this wave clutch in it. It does not have a wavy clutch in it. So when you go from park to drive, it has a very harsh engagement. That engagement is caused by two things. One, it doesn't have the wavy clutch in it, and it also doesn't have this auxiliary uh, cushion in it, which is right here. This is the auxiliary valve body here. And what it does is just a piston that takes, that lowers the pressure down in order to cushion it going from park to drive. It doesn't have a harsh engagement in reverse, but it has a very abrupt engagement in drive, and that's for the 87, would be the 87 up, and you would know it because when you open the pan up, you will have a tube that will go from back here in the back to up here in the front right here of the pump. You'll have a tube that will go there, and they just call it auxiliary valve body there, and that takes away that harsh engagement when you go from when you're going from park to drive. In reverse, they don't do it, only in drive. And you can't, the way it's made, the way the drum is made, you're unable to put a wave clutch in there to absorb the harsh engagement. Something else you'll want to do with your 700 if you're building one, this shaft, this spline shaft right here is a weak point. You can upgrade to the 4L60, but what I've done in the past, if I've took some Loctite and I've actually put Loctite on on this gear right here and Loctite it to the sun shell. I've done that, and that's worked out fine for me. Uh, it's worked out fine. I've done it in my pickup out there, and it worked out fine where that thing wouldn't strip out. But like I say, if you have the ability to have a sun shell out of a 4L60, you can do that. That's an upgrade that a lot of people do. They'll put that up in there. As you see right here, I've got a bunch of parts here. This is a sun shell here. This sun shell here is out of a 4L60. Or more than likely, I'll be putting this one in that transmission there. It's a made out of a little bit better material than that one there. I got some clutches, and I've got some steels and everything that if I need to use them in that 700, that I will do that. Got all that right here. Here's some low reverse clutches and stuff like that. So pretty much I have a lot of stuff that I can go right on in with that 700 that I have, and I'll put it together, and you will be seeing that in the upcoming video. But I just wanted to touch on and show you all that when you are working with a transmission, if you have the time and the space to do it, hey man, grab you a core. You can get a core. These transmissions running what? AutoZone, O'Reilly, they're running like $2,500 with a 350. Maybe some of them have a core of between $300 to $700. Hey, if you can grab. So, with that being said, that's everything that you need to do in order to make sure that everything is okay. Have a great one.